Look, hear me out. I was not one of the people who was like fan-personing over Jax or anything, but the last episode got me so freaking emotionally invested in his story. Okay, so here's the thing. Jax has trauma directly related to, like, letting people in. Like, he thought it would help in, like, his backstory, but then his mom just, like, made fun of him, and then for the first time, like, he's open with someone again, and then she takes it well, but then he panics and feels unsafe because, like, trauma. And I talked with someone about this, and they shared with me that they resonated with the scene and thought that, like, the reason that Jack's panic was because he was, like, still in a mental place where he was feeling uncertain about the decision that he just made, and, like, to let someone in. And they said that when they had moments like that, even if a small thing went wrong, even if it wasn't, like, directly related, it would cause panic and make them feel wrong and unsafe about the decision that they just made. So I think that would make sense if that's, like, what was going on. And then so he just kind of fell into the uncertainty side, like the regret side of the uncertainty of the conflicts within the mind. And yeah. And so then after that, it's like the next day, then he goes, like, he's interacting with Ribbit, and he maybe, like, slightly forget it or was, like, putting it aside, and then she kind of mentions it because she was, like, worried about it, and then he yeah, it kind of brings up the discomfort and panic, because, like, the trauma of danger of letting people in. And yeah, so then it seems like he's, like, just afraid that she'll just, like, use that to shame him, like his mom did. And so he starts to get suspicious, and I think it looks like he's projecting things on Ribbit. Like, just expecting her to still, like, do those things even though she wasn't, like, actually showing signs that she would do that. He just can't feel safe. So then he doesn't feel safe being around his best friend anymore, even though she did everything she could to try and be a safe space for him. He just, like, doesn't know how to, like, trust that yet, because I guess it just kind of happened too suddenly, and then it was overwhelming. And because, like, Jax was going through all that and putting up the distance, like, then now he was, like, alone again, because he was finally had people where he wasn't alone in the world. Like, he was straight up, like, homeless out there, and yeah, he was learning how to have a little community, have little friends, and then now Jax is just, like, alone again. And yeah, I was using he, him pronouns for this part, because, like, this is just talking about, like, since he never got to the point where he was, like, out, so in concept, like, I think he would be uncomfortable if I were to use that. Then I might, like, I want to talk about a hypothetical thing that should have happened. Well, maybe it shouldn't happen for plot reasons, but maybe I'll use other ones there, because then, like, hypothetically, if this could have gone right, I wish this could have gone right. Like, can you imagine? Okay, anyways, back to what I was saying. Yeah, so Jax being alone, and then Ribbit abstracts, and it's probably because of how much, like, it hurt her to lose her best friend, and she was so kind and tried so hard, and oh my goodness, that, like, it hurts, because she just left feeling like she did something wrong when she was, like, helping him heal. Like, he could see that it was helping him, and he was, like, learning how to be accepted, and it was like, it could have gone so well. But then it was just too much too soon, and then it ended up crashing, and they could have been so wholesome, and they could have, like, healed together and made each other feel so safe, and just, I want them to be together again on the other side of that conversation so freaking badly. And also, it makes sense that Jax, like, always jokes about things, especially whenever it's to minimize anything personal, because that's what he probably, like, expects because of how his mom reacted. So it's safer if he's the first to treat anything personal like a joke and non-existent. And Pomni shows up, and she reminds him of Ribbit, I think. I mean, like, they have some similarities. And she has a way of getting through his many walls just like Ribbit did. But now, like, he has even more walls from the trauma of that thing that happened between him and Ribbit. And Pomni keeps trying to find him for who he really is, but that brings up trauma, so he has complicated feelings about her because he misses Ribbit and secretly wants to have that again, to not be alone, but he doesn't feel safe at all. And he probably blames himself for Ribbit's abstraction and also blames the fact that he let her in. So letting Pomni in not only would feel like a risk of being shamed and like made fun of for things extremely personal to him, but also that he would risk losing the connection that he had with Pomni. And he didn't even want to admit that was a connection because connection at all felt unsafe because of how much it hurt to lose Ribbit. So just, Also, that one freaking scene, like in the other episode, like that puts a whole new perspective on that episode where they were all like choosing the different adventures, and then there was the one that like Ragatha chose, and then like Gangle, and I think Zubul or something like that. They put him in the maid dress like that because I thought it would be funny, but oh my goodness, like with this new information, that puts an entire new perspective on that. Because the thing is, they literally did the same thing that his mom did, basically. They made fun of him for being feminine. Like, forcing him to wear a dress would have been, like, bad enough on its own because he felt unsafe being perceived as feminine at all, but they straight up made fun of him for it. Like, from their perspective, it's just a casual joke about cross-dressing, but that's something that's actually important and personal to Jax. Like, it's actually something real and painful that he was experiencing and getting made fun of for the second time. So that's like, I mean, the imagine the flashbacks that's so freaking painful. Like, oh my goodness. So yeah, anyways, I just want a hypothetical world where that conversation actually went well because if it did, it could have been so freaking sweet and wholesome. Like, it was so, like, that scene was wholesome. I loved the way they captured it, the way the lighting and everything, because it just felt so healing and, like, I don't know, I really love that kind of a thing. Just, like, whenever just the emotional intimacy things, that's what gets me. I freaking love that. And I resonate with that. Like, that is the most amazing thing whenever you can have that with people, and just, I want them to have it forever. Why can't Jax and Ribbit be forever? And Pomni would, like, they could be a little friend group. And yes, Kaufmo too, because obviously he's part of the group. But I mean, we don't get to know as much about Kaufmo, so I'm not as emotionally invested. But Pomni, Jax, and Ribbit, they could all be such good friends. You know what I'm saying? Like, they could have been so wholesome. And then Jax probably wouldn't have, like, fallen into, like, his bullying era as much. Like, if he hadn't been through all that, because, like, I mean, he seems like he was less, I mean, I guess it's kind of, like, treating everything like a joke and, like, being like that, like, that's his coping mechanism, and it's just, it could have been so different. They probably would have been nicer to, like, Gangle and stuff. And, yeah, then they could have had this, like, they could have been happier. Even if, I don't know, but... Anyways, I like to imagine a hypothetical scenario where they were, like, it went well, and then Jax would probably take some time to, like, learn how to, like, embrace, like, you know, being, like, trans. Like, that would probably still be hard for her, but, like, she could, I guess this was since this is the hypothetical where she would, like, accept it and then be comfortable with it. So then, but she could, like, gradually start healing, and then, like, Ribbit could, like, they could just have little talks, and then maybe eventually, like, if she learned that it could be safe to trust anyone at all, like, through trusting Ribbit, then maybe eventually she'd start to learn that, like, maybe how to trust other people. That would probably take a lot of time and be hard, but, like, it would just be, like, it would be so sweet. It could just be, like, they have their own little thing with all these secrets, and they're just, like, close. And so something I like to imagine is, all those keys? I think that the keys, like, symbolize, like, okay, so Pomni was using the keys, like, to just find him for who he really is, like, on the scene where he was dying. And so she was basically, like, discovering his internal world through that, and since Jax's whole trauma is about letting people in, I think that's what the keys are supposed to symbolize, because, like, he's had to, like, lock off there, and then it's, like, Pomni and Ribbit would be the people who like had the keys, I guess you could say, to like get through to him. And yeah, I don't know. That's what my guess is. So I was thinking, like, with all those extra keys he has around in this hypothetical scenario, I think it would be so freaking cute, like, if Ribbit and Jax made like friendship necklaces with the keys. Like, they each had a key necklace, and they didn't tell anyone else what it meant. They just said like it was just. They'll probably lie and just say it's like, I don't know, just fun keys, extra, whatever. But then it could be their personal symbol, like, just for, like, what they had with how they trusted each other and how they were, like, able to let each other in. And then it could be, like, a reminder to Jax that, like, maybe, like, that it was possible for that to actually go well. And it would be so wholesome. And they should also make friendship bracelets. And if as Jax, like, slowly, like, learn to accept, like, you know, being a girl. And, like, if Jax slowly learn to, like, be less afraid of expressing herself in, like, a more feminine way, then maybe the friendship bracelets could also, like, you know, be a good way to, like, gradually get used to that, like, have, because, you know, Jax, like, she kind of, like, has the, I guess, toxic masculinity type things as a coping mechanism, or just because, like, she just went full out hostile against all that, but then it could be, like, a gradual way to, like, because then they could have, like, a little, it could be just, like, a thing they're all doing together, and, like, she'd probably just, pretend that she didn't, like, presenting herself that way, but was like, okay, fine, I'll just do it because it's a friend group thing. I'm sure Ribbit would find a way to, like, make her more comfortable with it and gradually like that, but they could all have, like Kaufmo, Ribbit, and they could all have, like, friendship bracelets together, but it would just be, like, Ribbit and Jax with the key necklaces, like that, and then they could just, I don't know. Yeah, so that's what I wanted to try drawing that, because I thought it'd be really cute. And I also had the idea of, like, what if they put, like, little, sticker things on that, like, just because okay, maybe that's taking it too far, maybe they would find that too cringy to do, or something like that, but I was just thinking, like, Jax could have a little, lily pad patch on her outfit, but, then Ribbit could have, like, stickers that are kind of like the decoration in Jax's room, so that they could have little, like just little, I don't know, just cute friendship things, because they have a cute friendship, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I don't know, I just had to rant about them, because, yeah. But I want this hypothetical situation, please. And that's the thing, like, if you had this group where they had, like, open communication, then I feel like, you know, like, I did a video with my bestie, and we were talking about, the circus show and stuff, and, like, he was mentioning how, like, one of the big themes is just the importance of communication, because, like, whenever the characters communicate, they make progress, and they heal, and stuff like that, but whenever they're having communication difficulties, it just kind of, or they don't, like it just, like, that seems to be a theme there. So, I think that, like, but if things had gone better, then the characters would have already, like, had that kind of dynamic between them. And also the things with Ragatha wouldn't have, like, blown up either, because, like, you know, they had the whole, like, that's the whole thing, Ribbit? Wait, what? Ragatha, Ragatha and Jax had their whole conflict thing, but if this hadn't gone that way, then they could have all just, I don't know, they could have been this wholesome friend group who just, like, supported each other so much and worked through things together. It could have been so freaking sweet. Like, there's just, I mean, I know that for plot reasons, you gotta have the difficulty, the conflict in that. And, I mean, that's what gets people emotionally invested to begin with, you know, like, not necessarily the only thing gets them emotionally invested, but, like, just seeing the sad things, and then, like, that's what emphasizes the how it could have been thing, you know what I mean? So, yeah, I get it, but, yeah, anyways, just, wanted to rant about that. Yeah, if you listened through all this, I really appreciate it, and if you want to share this with someone you think would find it interesting, that would be really cool, and if you want to comment, please comment. I want to connect with y'all peoples. I'm, like, just starting up new with my channel here, so, like, it really means a lot if there's any, like, engagement with my channel at this point, you know? So, yeah, Have a caffeinated day, and yeah, farewell.